Hello, and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. Today I'm doing a review of the SunSpider-C. If you've seen my SunSpider ambush build, or what I call the ATM ambush, then you've also probably seen my other one, which is on the SunSpider-A. Now the SunSpider-A is rocking two ATM-6s, two ATM-9s, and two ER medium lasers. What sets this one apart is this one here runs a little bit hotter. The other one sits at 1.55 heat management. This one has 4 ATM-9s and 2 ER medium lasers. And it's kind of I use this one as my test bed to test different types of builds. And this really stands out as well. This one here runs a little bit hotter, but when you fire 4 ATM-9s downrange, you are doing some serious damage. From as little as 61 meters, technically 60 meters, all the way out to the 281 meters, or I like to refer to it as like 280 meters. I don't like that last meter because that last meter, depending on the way the mech is facing you, some of those missiles might do damage, some of the missiles will do the right damage, but you know, you want them to do that maximum damage every time you can. So as you can see, 4 ATM-9s, 2 ER medium lasers, no double heat sinks on board, but what are you getting out of this? Well, you're getting 7 tons of ammo, you're getting a heat management of 1.41, firepower is 84 versus the 72 on the SunSpider A, and the speed is only 81 because I couldn't do any skills on the speed tweak. But this says it's 84, but let's really count that out a second. So each one of these in optimum range is actually doing 22 damage. So technically, in optimum range, which is 61 meters to 280 meters by my calculation, not that last meter, so 61 meters to 280 meters, this is going to do 88 damage. That's already more than what the firepower suggests. But you could just do the simple math. 22 times 4, 88. In addition, you're going to get the 2 ER medium lasers. Now I will say you can alpha strike this once. You do it a second time, you're going to be in overheat. And you're either going to have your override on, or you're going to be taking a brief nap while your mech cools down on the second volley. But the first volley, you can do it once, but I wouldn't suggest doing it a second time. And if you're on Terra Therma, I wouldn't suggest it at all. Because you may have to, if you're doing a full alpha strike, you might be in a situation, and if you do another alpha strike, it's going to be over. You're just going to simply blow your mech up, because it's just too much firepower. So we're 88 plus 10. That puts us at 100. No. Yeah. Because 88 plus 12, that puts us at 100. So you can do an alpha strike one time and you do 100 damage. Now it's going to be spread out, but you can mitigate this by right before fire your weapons with the lock, and then lose the lock while you're pointing at a particular component on the enemy mech. And if you're pointing at the legs and you fire these and it goes to lock, unlock it if you can by slapping the R button, and it'll unlock and it'll shoot primarily at those components. And if the components are already open, guess what? They're losing that component. That component's on the ground now. And that's one of the tricks that I use when I fire these. That's part of the reason I use advanced zoom, is because it allows me to target specific components. When you have a lock on it, it's targeting the center mass of the mech and doing the very best it can to hit the center mass. But say you've got a mech that you're dealing with and both legs are cored, they don't have the primary armor on there anymore. Guess what? You can take those components off. And I've gotten so good with it that when I fire these weapons, I'm not hitting the rest of the mech. I'm only hitting the components that I want. I can strip a mech down and barely do any damage to the torso or the arms. whatsoever. I can strip the legs right off the way I fire these. I consider these to be like shotguns. They're like shotguns that have the option for guiding. So with the guidance system on, it's like an LBX that hits its target almost every time, and that's why I love these. LBXs are my second favorite weapon of the shooting variety. My favorite lasers are probably either the heavy medium lasers or the large pulses. The rest of the lasers, not so much, except for the ER medium. The ER medium is just an absolute wonderful weapon. It works great on both Intersphere and Clan Mechs. So let's take a look at this. What are we getting out of this? Armor. And armor. And armor. And armor. Nothing else. But what are we getting in the skill tree? When we go to the skill tree on this, pretty much what you would expect in any one of my missile builds. Lots of heat management, range, velocity, missile features. Now this one has a little bit more in the reinforced casing, but I'm also not worried about speed on this as much. And it has an extra skill on the overheat damage, because I like to run this thing into the hot zone quite a bit. I consider this to be more armor, cool run, heat containment, and then seismic sensor. Radar deprivation is absolutely more armor in my book. If they lose a lock on you as soon as you go to cover, that's only a bonus. And not everybody, believe it or not, not everybody uses target decay. Even if they use target decay and you have radar deprivation, they cancel each other out as long as you have radar deprivation maxed out. Now, unless they have a quirk on their mech for target decay, as soon as you go into cover, you're gone. You've gone off the board for them. Advanced zoom, obviously for the reasons I explained earlier. 2 cool shots in a UAV. It's pretty much the same on every one of my mechs, and the reason that is because uniformity. I like being able to simply know what the keys are on the keyboard without having to look. What's the big deal about that? I forget. I hunt and peck. I'm one of those guys. I used to be able to type 40 to 50 words a minute. Then I had a car accident, and now I can't do that anymore. By the way, I love this paint scheme. Just love it. And this also tells me that this is a ATM mech, because I do this to almost every one of my ATM builds. All my Arctic Wolves look identical as far as paint goes. Let's take a look. All 4 of them. And this guy as well. Now this one here is running an LRM, but this is just a rare case. I'm probably going to be switching this back. But this is running 2 LRM-10s, 2 LRM-15s with Artemis. And so far I'm very pleased with this. So I'll probably be changing this paint scheme soon, so I know that it's not that. All my Shadowcats are also ATM builds as well. Oh, actually, I forgot this one does have LRM-15s on it right now. It's switching back, though. I like the ATMs on these better. 2 ATM-6s or an ATM-6 and an ATM-9. Either one of these work on the Shadowcats really well. And because this thing is like Yoda, being able to hop around so much, you can do a Pop-Tart and just absolutely devastate. I've been running the ATM-6s on these as a pair, primarily because every time you fire these, they fire together. When you have an ATM-9 and ATM-6, obviously the ATM-6 has a better cooldown than the ATM-9. But if you can fire the ATM-9 and ATM-6 together, it is quite devastating. Especially if you're dealing with mechs that aren't aware of your presence, because every one of these has ECM on board. Oh yeah, gotta have it. Anyway, I hope you like these builds and consider these for your builds. If you're looking to scale up through the tiers, which I don't give a damn about anymore, the missile builds are one of the fastest ways to do that. And you don't have to have incredible skill. You know, some people say different things, and you know, some people say other things. I don't care. I'm playing this game for me, not for them. Have a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.